Oh god, I don't have time for this. Why am I doing this stream? I don't have time. I only have... Wait, how long do I have?
4
9
minutes,
hours
15
left.
seconds.
And I'm spending 2.5 of them watching Star Trek. Which we are going to
What?
do. We're watching Star
You've
Trek.
only got 9 hours left to live.
Yeah, 9 hours left to live. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it.
That's when your future self arrives and
No, it's been a while since I've done any proper programming, so I was like, I want to do something fun. I'm going to do a game jam. Game jams are fun. I can, 72 hours, make a small little game. Should be great. Should be a nice little project. And,
okay.
Look. I have a lot of code done. Like, I have a bunch of characters, and I have some characters, and I have a bunch of collision stuff, and I have all the enemies and their attacks. I have a boss monster who's beautiful, by the way. This is him. Do you like him? He's so handsome. This is his idle state, and then when he's shooting out rocks from his eyes, or whatever those are, they turn blue. However,
What kind of game is this you're making?
I need to make
You don't
a
have
level.
a screenshot yet? Okay.
Well, I deleted all the test bed stuff because it was just like random boxes of different enemies to like figure out
You have the,
how everything worked together.
boilerplate of the game done, you just don't have the game.
Yeah, I have all the code is done. All the enemies are there. All the player mechanics work, and they work pretty great. I've only found one bug, and it's very rare, so I'm not going to deal with it. I only have 9 hours. It's
Is it a platformer?
if someone runs into it, they can fix it by pressing jump. It's fine. But now I need to actually make, the levels in the game. I have all the stuff to put in the levels, but I need to make them.
What is the game?
So the premise of this game jam... Oh god, this is really loud. Hang on, let me get rid of that, because I can just mute it on my end. That's fine. By the way, while I sort out the sound, the episodes today are Season 7, Episode 3, I think it is. Afterimage, that's the first one. Where's my volume mixer? Why does this not show up in my volume mixer? Okay, it's just going to be really loud for me. So, the premise of the game, and the premise of the game jam, is that it has to be based on a 1-minute timer. So I went and made it so you cycle between 3 different characters once a minute. So when 1 minute passes, you go from the fighter to the ranger. Then after a minute passes, well, I guess I should call it a rogue because he has a cloak. Then after a minute, you go from the rogue to the wizard, then from the wizard to the fighter, and so on and so forth. And you just go through various enemies and hopefully puzzles. We'll see if I can actually make any. And you have to go.
Looks like a gumdrop and a triangle and a...
Yeah, Bill, I know you're saying something, but I have no idea what, because this game is really loud and I can't turn it down because I didn't do that. The best part of it, look, I don't know if the game's good, but I really like the grappling hook. There's not too much to grapple on in this area, but I like it. Oh, that's lava, by the way. Oh, interesting. If you sit in the lava, it doesn't kill you. I should fix that. There's a bug. Though I know exactly what's causing it. There we go. Like the wizard, he can freeze the lava and walk over it. And the fighter can use his charge attack to get over. Or the rogue could grapple over. Okay.
Wow.
Now I can hear again.
So which game jam is it?
It is... Mini Jam 85, Gold, where gold is the theme.
Okay. So where's the gold in your game?
The gold, you're going and reclaiming a cursed treasure to put it back where you found it in the first place, so that you stop cycling between the 3 different adventurers. There's a whole cursed treasure thing, don't worry about it. Anyway, 15 seconds to start. Everyone be queued up to Afterimage with Esri. She's pretty cool. But yeah, 9 hours left, and I'm doing this. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Look, I don't have time to implement a volume slider. It's not happening. If people want to make the game less loud, they can turn down their system volume.
Hi, guys.
Okay. Oh, this is Esri's first time on the station.
Yeah,
Warren's a great listener.
I'm really sad. I think we're all really sad because of Jadzia right now.
Nah.
Not really. No.
Nah, it's fine. Esri's fine. She's a good
About
replacement.
time she got rotated out, you know?
Yeah, just straight up replaced. We don't need her.
You must walk with your hands clasped behind your back.
Yes.
That's the thing Spock did in the original series.
That's what one of Jadzia's and Esri's previous hosts did. I don't remember which one.
It's an old Trek tradition.
Is it the murdering one? Maybe that's
why. The story behind it was that it was one of the women who was really smart, and they were like, there's that woman doing her crazy woman things. And so she was like, well, I'm not going to give them something to talk about with my hands. I'm just going to hold them behind my back so people can't make weird comments about it. And then it stuck.
That thing in the corner there looks like a space bin, you know? Like, in the 80s, they made loads of stuff that looked like rockets. It just looks like a bin.
Esri, way to kill the mood. I was murdered here. Come on, Esri.
Yeah, like she's here to worship.
It must get like progressively harder as the Dax or any symbiont has more and more hosts. You just get a massive amount of baggage.
Yeah. I like this line.
That I was killed here?
No, meaning no matter how many times you die, you never get used to it.
I mean, hopefully you only die the once. That would be ideal.
Yeah, but that's why it's good writing, because if you were a troll, that's what you would say.
Yeah.
If you die more than once, that means you get to live more than once. That seems like a good benefit.
I mean, I was thinking of like being medically dead and being resuscitated, which is not great.
It's not great, but
it depends.
Well, I was thinking of shuttlecraft accident, which is what happened, right? So it's like, it's kind of crazy, right? Like you died in the shuttlecraft. Yeah, it's a crazy way to die.
So big on her. It's like 10 sizes too big.
When she stands next to people, Esri is noticeably shorter than Jadzia was. By like 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
This actress really nailed the difficulty of the fact that, like, because, you know, she even does Jadia's raspy voice sometimes when she needs to.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Esri being short, I was trying to get, you know, a screenshot for the thumbnail, and I wanted a screenshot of Esri in her baseball uniform, and so there's that, the only good shot I could find is where it pans over the whole team, and Esri is just at the bottom of the frame, because they're trying to get everyone else in the shot, their faces. You can barely see her.
Don't rush your publicity shots, because they're going to be publicized.
Right.
So this reminds me a whole lot of Doctor Who, of course.
Oh, yeah.
For those not familiar, Doctor Who in 1963 or 64, when William Hartnell, the first Doctor, wanted to step out of the show, they wanted to continue the show. So they said, well, how can we write this in? So they had him regenerate into a new body. When he would when a normal human would ordinarily die.
Man, who dies anymore?
Right.
Certainly nobody in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, no, Zoomgalore didn't die. He just got, well, we don't have to go over what happened to him. We don't have to admit to anything.
So she's noticeably shorter than Jadzia.
She's
Think
tiny.
How much more shorter she
I never
must
noticed
be
it before I was getting that thumbnail, but she's tiny. Like, she needs a step stool to reach anywhere in her quarters. Any shelf.
They just give her a different set of quarters with a roof a lot lower.
Hopefully. Jadzia, if they gave her Jadzia's quarters, one, that'd probably creep her out. But also, Jadzia had a bunch of things on high shelves to grab.
Yeah.
The actress is Nicole de Boer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is she South African?
She
was born in Toronto, Canada.
She doesn't sound South African.
No, because well, Boer is a South African war that happened between the Germans and the British. They're called the Boer Wars.
Around 1898.
And De Boer, De Klerk, I thought, and those are very South Afrikaner names, which is Dutch, I believe. So that's why I'm asking.
The Boers are their own group. It wasn't the Germans.
Oh, she had an appearance on William Shatner's Tech War series in 1995.
I have only the haziest idea about that history.
Well, she is, in fact, Canadian.
Okay. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Adam. I'll be back.
How's it going?
It's good.
This episode is about whether Ezri should stay or go, so we don't have quarters for her yet.
I mean, I guess, but she's going to be assigned quarters, and hopefully she's not assigned quarters with any high shelves.
Right now, Worf doesn't even look at her, so it doesn't look like she's going to stay, He's saying you're making it awkward. And she can't say he's wrong.
Are you coming in or not, Ezri? Open
That's
the
how
door.
short she is. You can't even see her.
She's under the window.
Yeah.
Did
she beam into his ready? Wait, where does that door go?
She comes in through the side entrance. We never see it before, actually. I mean, if Mike was here, he'd probably correct me. So
look at them next to each other.
It doesn't look like that much of a difference there, but
what you typing about, Bill? What you looking up?
he's looking up how to enable his CRISPR so that we don't hear him typing.
The South African genealogy, Nicole de Boer.
No.
I'm sure if you go back a little bit before Canada, she's got a little bit of.
Oh well.
This car post from the.
What's the name of the doctor actor? Do you mean?
Les Landau directed this, and he directed yesterday's TNG episode too.
Yeah, I think the name of the doctor is. Oh, what was it? I can't even remember. Robert Picardo. That's what it was. There you go. Hope that helps. He's not in the show, though. Well, no, he is. Just not in this season.
Okay. Nicole de Boer is 5 feet 4 inches tall, which is the average height for an American female.
Yeah, okay. But Cisco's tall, Worf is tall.
Just everyone else is tall. So she stands out.
Except for Nog, so and Nog's
I doubt it's the average height of an Earth female by this point, surely.
Holy smokes. Terry Farrell is 6 feet 0 inches tall.
So 6 feet.
But she's shorter than Worf, so
Worf also has an extra half a foot from his head prosthetic.
Yeah.
It's barely.
Michael Dorn is 6 feet 3 inches tall.
Okay, so Worf is like 6'5" or 6.
Yeah. But considering that Terry Farrell, I believe, started in modeling, models are above average tall.
Right, and she wears her hair up when she's doing the Batleth fighting.
Well, that's just bad design. Because if you're looking for a model, generally they're modeling clothes, yeah?
Yeah.
So if you just pick tall women, then you have to use more fabric. You have to spend more on the clothing.
Depends what kind of modeling you're doing. Because sometimes the focus is on the model, not the clothing.
It has never been this crowded in Quarks.
No, never.
It's just for Garrick's Claustrophobia episode. At least he's being cordial. Mm-hmm. He's a nice guy. Other than the torture and the murder.
No, that wasn't him. That was another guy.
I don't want to get muted for this, but Garrick went to an all-boys boarding school, and he says I don't like people looming over me. So I just had a moment.
Ed, do you know where Garrick went to school?
Yeah, I read that book, A Stitch in Time by Andrew Robinson. But we established it's his father that does it in this episode. But
I would bet his
Pete and
schooling in
Clyde.
canon is just his father having him torture people and interrogate them for practice. I doubt he went to an academy.
It looks like Garrick's got a bit of heartburn or something.
yeah, this is filmed with like the telltale heart beating.
That's a bit of a creepy look on his face. At least Odo
Were
actually
they just-
noticed.
Were they just
Had that
force
third
timing,
record,
or
you know?
are they force timing, or are they actually locking eyes?
No, they're filming this.
I think they're
separate.
no, they're both there because he has to do this bit. I think they were actually looking at each other.
Okay, so Odo really was there.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
What was I gonna say about Garrick? Oh no,
What do you
Odo.
see?
I was trying to read his lips. I only got like a fragment of one sentence. It's hard to read lips on someone who doesn't have lips.
Right.
I just caught Garrick, are you alright? And I'm not even sure about the Garrick.
The opposite of claustrophobia, by the way, is agoraphobia.
It means you're afraid to go outside.
Well, agoraphobia is named after the agora.
It's
in
not just
ancient
fear of
Greece,
open
which was a big
spaces.
market,
Sure.
big open marketplace.
Well, surely the opposite of claustrophobia is claustromania. Well, you just absolutely love
No.
confined spaces.
That would be depressio, whatever.
That's just
Never
a Harry
mind.
Potter spell.
Yeah, sounds like.
But
I
so
don't think that's
if you were afraid
a
of
real
open
suffix.
spaces, which is what it is, though, you'd be afraid to go outside because outside is like that one big open
Does
space.
raise an interesting point. Is the opposite of a fear of something else, or is it the liking of something?
It's
Or-
got
or
the
no.
opposite is the liking for sure. That's how opposites work.
No, it's the love. The opposite of fear of something is the love of
Oh,
something, which
philia.
is
That was the
philia.
word I was thinking of. I couldn't think of philia, so I just substituted mania instead.
Claustrophilia?
Claustrophilia, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You love those
audiophiles
tight
are
spaces.
audiophiles are really people who really love audio equipment and music and.
Do you know what a plushophile is?
I don't want to know.
Oh, what?
Let's not elaborate because it sounds like something we don't want to talk about on YouTube.
It ain't too bad.
Standing on her head?
She's
Or
upside down.
you guys lovers of confined spaces?
No. You know,
That does
my
not
mom's
look
cla-
comfortable, Isri. What are you doing?
My mom doesn't have claustrophobia, but if you put her in an MRI, she starts panicking, and we can never get her into like an MRI because she goes like, it reminds me of a coffin. So she does have that kind of claustrophobia.
I like how when Cisco's talking to Esri, his voice gets a little sing-songy. He doesn't yell at her like he yells at everyone else. He goes a little higher pitch, has a little bit of a tune to it.
Oh, he yells at her.
Yeah, but later.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Right
right
now
though.
is
He's talking to her like it's his friend / daughter.
Oh, he's still calling her old man.
Yeah. It's because you know what? The last episode, he was so upset that like I needed Dax. You know, Dax is dead. I need Dax to help me think through this. So
And he
he's
keeps
like
calling
really
her
happy.
old man after she specifically tells him to stop. Uncool,
Yeah, that's
man.
later though. That's later.
Yeah, but he'll keep doing it after that.
Okay, but like right now, she's still struggling to be Dax. So that's why she said that.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it? She's struggling to be Dax, but she doesn't have to be Dax. She just has to be Esri.
Right.
Is there? There's who came before Jadzia?
Curzon.
Curzon, that's right. Do we ever see
That's old man.
Curzon?
That's the old man that Cisco calls him old man. Do we ever see?
You see Curzon on
you ever
the
see
operating
Curz-
table like once when it's. I think Jadzia has a flashback to when she was getting the symbiont.
We see Curzon when he's dying, and we also see
Holy
Curzon when
smokes.
he is with Odo.
Everybody in this scene is on stairs except her. It makes her look even shorter.
Yeah.
The directors were just
Garrick's
having a
on a little
laugh.
step, isn't he?
The
Yeah.
first Hobbit in Starfleet.
I mean, they're filming horror right now, so like they're using all the instruments of like the angles looming and things like that.
Are you saying
Well,
it's
forced
scary? It's a
perspective.
horror to be short?
No, she's walking into Garrick's office though, so that's like and also he was having the heartbeat thing going on before, so it's like one of those horror episodes.
You know, Esri. I mean, she struggles here a little bit, but you know, she's dealing with some stuff. But she's a way better counselor than Troy ever was. She actually talks about actual psychological stuff and not just, I can sense you
Yeah.
feel upset. Have you tried not feeling upset?
Right. Can you like punch a pillow?
Just tap the back of
I've
your
done
neck. You'll
that.
feel better.
I thought that was real.
Why don't you think through your emotions with me?
Well, emotions are by nature the opposite of logic.
Right. But you know, I never remembered this, that like Esri was space sick. I don't know why.
Why she's basic or why you didn't remember?
I don't know why I didn't remember, because I've seen this at least twice now.
Yeah, it only comes up twice. One in the episode where she's flying to the desert planet in the last episode, because she threw up on the console, and it shows up here, and that's it.
If she's having trouble remembering something, she might think about hypnosis. That might work.
Yeah, that comes up later, right?
No.
I'm thinking of Tuvok and Kess then.
So,
God,
by the
Tobin.
way,
You can't just let your
Howard
children run
Trill-
wild, Tobin.
Howard Trill's born.
Very well, thanks for asking.
That's not
Frequently.
appropriate for this break.
They come down the same passage that humans do.
Who?
There's a womb.
No.
Wait, yeah, why
And
would
there's-
it be different for Trills than with humans? It's probably just the same.
He's just wondering how the thing fits, the parasite fits.
It
next to the womb.
doesn't.
It just bores a hole into you, and that's about it.
You know, it's between your pancreas and your appendix. It doesn't interfere with any of that.
They have a different
Right.
arrangement of the internal organs.
Your organs are quite movable,
Yeah.
so it's not a big problem.
Well, no, okay. So there's it's called the symbiont, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's removed from host to host.
Right.
Yes.
I guess first of all, what pops out to my brain is that you have to have medical surgery in order for that to happen. If you haven't invented medical surgery, then the symbiont's just gonna die with the first host.
Or you
I
get a
imagine it
sharp
probably
object.
could get somewhere else.
you cut a line, and then the symbiont comes out because it knows you're dead.
C-section.
And then
Great.
you put it on top of another trill,
Those
and it works
parasites-
its way in.
From TNG season
thought
1
they
went
had
down
to-
people's mouths to connect to their spinal cords. Maybe the symbionts work like that before surgery.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just crawl
So
out and then
my-
find someone else to infest.
That's a nice sewing machine Garrick has.
Yeah.
So when I was saying what Howard Trill born, what I meant is how are the symbionts born?
She's falling by the steps over here, so she's space sick. And like look, we only had one season to tell a story about this character, but they did a great job, and that was a great direction right there. Because like again, they're showing you, they're not telling you, and seeing her be space sick kind of softens up Garrick later.
Well, they are telling us because she just went on like a big rant about how she was space sick all the time.
Oh, Ezra's not going to be able to go down that corridor. That's a matte painting behind her. Where's she going?
I think.
Also,
Sorry,
Bill,
there's people in the background.
No problem. And she's not
Bill,
gonna be
I
able to go down
imagine
the
the
corridor.
symbionts reproduce by laying
What?
eggs. That would be my guess.
They've like
They
are
seem
kept in these
eggy.
pools underground, so
Yeah.
some sort of amphibious procedure, I'd imagine.
They look like platypuses before they evolve beaks and fur.
No, they don't.
What? What are you thinking
You
of?
said-
Have you seen a
you said
symbiote
they-
and a
you said-
platypus?
You said
We're-
they lay eggs.
We're getting bleed through from somebody.
They're ordering Baskin Robbins in Kevin's house.
Yeah, but your mic is hot.
Kevin, if you could just switch to push to talk, that would be ideal.
You know about. I wonder if the actress has. I wonder if the actress is actually spacesick. I mean, I wonder if that's what the actress suffers. But
well, she's
I've
not in
seen-
space.
Seasick, you mean?
Yeah, spacesick.
Or
Yeah.
motion sickness? Yeah.
Yeah. But I did see the actor that plays Garrick. Yeah, he actually suffers from claustrophobia.
Yes.
So
Wow.
he actually was,
Suffering from it.
he had a hard time with tight spaces in the set. So
So
he actually has claustrophobia. So it's just not the actor that has it. I mean, it's just not the character that has it, but it's actually the actor that has it.
So
Yes.
he wasn't acting.
Andrew Robinson famously
sorry.
had issues with his makeup where just being in that big prosthetic mask would just trigger his claustrophobia. It would be a big issue for him.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're laughing at it. He had a serious issue with this.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
he has some problems with claustrophobia with the other
It's
person
terrible.
of the set. He suffers from claustrophobia.
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
really is.
the station, Cisco's right. It could definitely use a counselor. It probably should have had one before.
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't. I guess previously the priests were expected to be counselors.
Yeah.
So that'll take care of
Right.
most of the Bajorans.
Whoa. That's not a good idea. You don't just waive the rest of your training and say, okay, you're legal.
Whatever. She's had the training like 4 times by now. It's fine. What if we kicked
So
Worf
Worf
off the
is in a-
station? Would that make it easier?
I mean, he lives on the Defiant. Just tell him to stay there.
Would intimidate him.
Worf's in an interesting position here. Because I don't know, I kind of think it's like, has anybody seen the movie Regarding Henry with Harrison Ford?
Oh.
Harrison Ford, it's a 1991 movie. Harrison Ford plays a really unlikable character who's married and has some children. He gets shot one evening, and he goes out to the convenience store. That puts him through. He's almost brain dead. So he has to learn how to chew again, for example. And after so many years, and so his wife comes over to visit him, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, what the heck is going on to our marriage from this point forward?" And so the rest of the movie is about him getting back his skills and motor skills and everything, and he actually becomes a different person, not because of necessarily brain function, but because he went through that experience and he sort of learned how to relive life. But I kind of think that that's maybe what Worf is, or maybe should be experiencing at this moment in time.
Julian, no.
Why?
Yeah, this episode isn't actually about it. It doesn't have a plot, but it's just dealing with all the relationships, so we can just ignore it and continue with the show after this. Because bringing in a new Dax has certain consequences. We just need to get over it. Get over it.
But like, don't
ever
It
meet
doesn't
everyone.
really get resolved for a while, though, does it? Until Worf gets his big battle.
It's mostly resolved. Worf is the only lingering one. Everyone else is pretty chill with the new Ezri.
I mean, even if it's your mother-daughter context, don't tell anyone you have your mother's eyes or something, because it's right on the border of creepiness to the point of, I don't know.
Is it? I mean,
I
people
feel like that's
say
a
that all the
fairly normal
time.
comment. You have your mother's
Okay,
eyes.
fine.
Yeah.
So maybe in that context, fine. But other than that, don't say
Yeah,
that.
if I ever encounter a troll, maybe I won't say that. But
Don't say that.
you know,
Okay. I just thought it was weird for him to say that. I don't think that's a great line on a date.
Well,
With-
for anybody who loves their mother, it's a complimentary thing.
Okay, forget the mother thing. I'm just saying on a trill thing. You know, like
Worf's getting jealous already. Worf, you just said you don't even know this woman. That's not Jadzia. Why are you getting jealous?
that's what I'm saying. Like you told her to stay away from me. You called her ensign, and now you're so
He's
stalking her.
confused.
So
Leave
don't
him alone.
stalk your ex if
But
you
don't leave him
decide
alone.
you don't want to be with her.
But she's not
He's
his
trying
ex.
to space himself.
No, she's not his ex.
She's a different woman.
She's his.
It's the
Used-
worm in her
used to be
belly.
his ex.
That's the X. Give me that worm.
Well,
Does
Yeah,
Worf keep photos on
she's-
his nightstand of just the symbiont? Just the worm?
You looked so good in that dress when we got married.
Jadzia didn't look
So
good in
it's-
that dress.
it's-
No, it was awful.
what I'd like to think
Yeah, but the
Is
worm
that-
in the dress.
Yeah, the dress would be Jadzia in this case.
Yes, Bill?
what I'd like to think is that Worf has this amazing opportunity now to get to know this whole other person who's very much like the person he knew. And hopefully that very much like is enough to build his new relationship.
It's kind of a weird grey area though, because Trills are not really supposed to be doing this. They're
Right.
supposed to avoid all the people in their previous host's life.
It's not totally clear what the rules are. They're not
think
allowed
it's
to
just your
date
ex
people from their
spouse.
previous life. But they can probably hang out. Like Jadzia would hang out with Cisco. And they were friends when he was Curzon.
Yeah. You can be friends.
You just can't date.
No, you can't marry like that. Like,
And you can, you're just really recommended against it, because Trills have already discovered that it's a recipe for bad times.
yeah. And
Jadzia
supposed to
also
be every-
met that scientist lady, and that was
Mhm.
fine. It was when they got together that became an issue.
Scientist?
Right.
I don't remember her name.
It was,
The
it was
the
when they were
woman
spending
who was her ex
Dr.
in a previous life.
Dr. Lara.
Laura Khan?
Yeah.
Han!
Khan! Jesus, Quark.
Holy smokes, hold still when somebody's poking something in your ear.
It was Dr. Crusher who was involved with the Trill in TNG episode.
He's gonna rupture his eardrum if he keeps moving around like that.
So Quark got his ear tickled by a professional tickler.
Is that earwax?
No,
that
that's
was
a
a
feather.
feather.
From
Oh,
being
That's
tickled.
better.
Like, you know how you can go to a parlor to get umox? You can go to a parlor to get your
Okay,
tympanic
so
nerve.
so this is assault. This is illegal.
this
You
is,
can't do
again,
that.
Worf should be in jail for the third time on this show.
Also, is he actually holding him up off the ground?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's powers.
Julian doesn't seem to be bothered by that. He seems pretty comfortable where he is.
No, I mean he's trying to tell him.
I have powers, Worf.
Yeah, so the rule is you don't have control over anyone else, even if they used to be.
Oh, nope, he wasn't holding them up.
No, he pushed him. Oh, okay.
He lifted him off the ground.
That was just the camera angle. Okay.
Yeah. You're supposed to look
Yeah.
at that, but then when you let him go, he didn't drop down again.
Look, once you're not married to someone, you have no right to tell them who to be with or be jealous of your friends for being with them.
Well,
Right.
that's exactly what this episode is trying to
It
explain.
doesn't work that way. I'm very sorry to say. If you like it, you should put a ring on it.
Garrick, you worked hard on that. What are you doing, man? Does he just want something to
He's
sew
sticking it back
again?
together.
Because sewing calms him down, so he's making more work for himself?
it's perfectionist.
I want
People
that
should
Do
singer.
your chores.
people should throw themselves into their work unless you're a steel worker
Yeah.
or a coal miner.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of stuff on Live Leak that is like very contrary to that point.
Hey, we had the word psychobabble appear on the show.
There's a lot of psychobabble.
No, the word psychobabble appears.
Yes,
He
and
says
Garrick's
in
right.
every-
There's a lot of psychobabble.
Look, shit. Look,
We even got
Being
Dr.
locked in a
Sigmund Freud
closet-
given a psychobabble yesterday.
being locked in a closet is probably the source of your claustrophobia. You needed someone to walk in here and hold your hand. Oh man,
That's not nice, Garrett. Come on. She's already new and confused
he's
enough.
nice. He's nice. This is nice. Because he says at the end, leave before I say something that's not nice.
He's just giving her a bit of tough love.
I don't think he's doing that at all. I think he's just being a jerk.
I think he's at best projecting onto her from himself.
He's not worthy of the name
Don't worry
Tame.
about it.
That's the best Garrick dialogue ever.
He still hasn't even started sewing that thing.
No, well, Esri came in rudely and interrupted him from his work. Jeez, Esri, maybe you deserve that yelling.
So he called her a worthless lowlife?
Basically.
Okay. He destroyed her. I'd be crying in a corner too.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of similar to what Cisco does at one point as well? Except Cisco.
This is the thing.
And then he's like, oh, I just said that to like make you go and do
Yeah.
stuff. I didn't actually accept your resignation.
That's coming up.
Though I
But,
think
like,
Garrick meant it.
They both kind of really they take off the kid gloves.
Though here's a question. Was Garrick even wrong?
Well, she is kind of being a baby about it.
She's pretty messed up right now. Was Garrick even wrong? I mean, he was a jerk. Was it incorrect?
Well, Garrick is right, as we just said it right now.
Oh, just a bit of tough love, that's all.
I mean, my feelings are hurt, man.
You would think that there might be a Trill program or something like that, where Trill have counselors for each other. Of I've been through this 9 times. This is how we get through it. You know.
Who counsels the
I think
counselor?
there was, but like
Nobody.
Trill basically just kind of threw it out there, like, well,
Yeah,
just deal with it.
it's true.
Once
true.
you're
Like,
joined, it's too late. You're on your own.
Once you're joined, there's no psychological training.
I mean, she's got plenty of people inside her own head to help her deal with it. She isn't even trying to like talk to them.
I feel like
No, but that's
listening
the
to the
point.
voices in your head is not a valid psychological strategy.
Whereas when they're actually physically proven to have been other people.
I suppose.
No, that's the point, that one person is enough baggage and trauma, and like you're carrying around 7 people's, mud.
That's why she gets space sick, because her mass to weight ratio is just like totally off. All that baggage swinging around.
Yep, here's the tough love.
What?
He's still being a little sing-songy, but that's just Cisco. That's just Avery Brooks. That's just how he is.
Oh. Wow.
He's a very rhythmic man.
The uniform was the only thing she had left. She didn't even have self-esteem. And he's like...
But you seen the way that she looked at him? It was like sort of in that way, like, I'm gonna prove you wrong type way.
Yeah, she is like a kid in this episode.
She could go back to her parents, go join a mining company, call herself Ezra Teagan.
Isn't it?
No,
God,
he
Mike.
told her to go to the cesspool where the symbiotes live and just, like, nobody expects anything of them.
Where do you get one of those bottles? I want one.
From space.
That's like telling your...
Space, did you say?
Yeah, you get them from space.
Space
They're
bottles.
space bottles.
Somewhere out there.
It's like telling your friend or pupil, like, just go work for the sanitation department. And there's nothing wrong with working for the sanitation department because, like, it pays well. But
Kinda shitty.
that's not why you became a teacher, right? To tell kids to go for that.
Or if you feel weird about Ezri being around you, but did you feel weird about marrying an old man? Why does Curzon not matter to you?
That's so true.
It doesn't matter because he never met Curzon, so it's like Curzon doesn't exist. He doesn't have to confront that.
Yeah, it's like what I don't know doesn't bother me.
Also, the fact that Curzon was a homewrecker, and I think he probably killed some folk.
Oh yeah, he did do that nasty business, didn't he?
And he cheated at a lot of... He started bar fights. He stole stuff. I think Worf would hate Curzon, actually.
Yo, he just said, "Are you darkening my doorstep again?"
He's still sewing that bit he ripped. He's still going.
My Netflix is locked up.
My God.
Are you darkening my doorstep again, Bill?
Netflix is darkening my doorstep.
That's not what that phrase means. That's not how idioms work. Also,
Only work however they're applied at the time. They change meaning over time, don't they?
There's some flexibility when you're rhetorical or Shakespeare or something.
So it's very convenient for Isri that she happened to mention this. If the Destiny wasn't showing up tomorrow, she would have just gone home, gone to the pool, left Starfleet.
She's a great counselor.
Okay, switching to Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime Video. Did you know with your Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free to one Twitch, what are they called? Streamer?
No.
Per month for free. You also get access to free 2-day shipping within the US.
And you get a bunch of freebies in your games that you already
You get
own.
music. You get some games. You get video.
You get original television and movies.
You get charges on your card.
And you wind up buying from them because you're too lazy to go to the store.
Yep, Garrick, you are a traitor. I'm glad you realized that.
Oh, this reminded me of that movie Enigma with Benedict Cumberbatch. In the sense that, and that, by the way, forget about the movie. That was a real life incident where Alan Turing is cracking the code that the Nazis are using. And because of that, we have some idea of where the Germans are attacking Allied shipping convoys. And he wins the war. And that's what Garrick is doing.
Well, I mean, Alan Turing, he wasn't German, though. He wasn't betraying the Germans.
Yeah, okay, that's true. He didn't have the psychological... Alan Turing had other psychological issues.
The British government thought he had psychological issues.
Yeah, right. And he was damaged from being put in jail for the crime at the time. He was
basically persecuted.
Yeah, but, so same thing. You know, Garrick gets internal trauma. Alan Turing has internal trauma from government persecution. He was arrested for the crime
Garrick
of buggery.
is not being persecuted for being gay. Everyone is very accepting of it. Especially Dr. Bashir.
Was the legal term at the time.
You better tell the medical team where to go.
Would that be masculophilia? Mascophilia?
Androphilia?
Androphilia?
Yeah, that's the term. What would be androphilia, you were asking?
The love of men?
Yeah. Garrick. He's an androphiliac.
Hey. Androphile.
It's the same thing.
So what's the love of androids, then? Androidophile?
Dataphiliac.
Yeah. Sungophile. Shit.
Spinophilia?
You want to be all over Prince Spiner.
Not just any android, specifically Brent.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever... I don't know. Like, I've read in the military, like, you know, your sergeant or whatever, they'll give you a good reprimand, and that's supposed to make you a better officer. But they both went overboard. I mean, Garrick's not even an officer, so he's not required to be nice.
Is she?
No, I like Garrick, so I support his actions.
Okay.
He is one hell of a counselor.
I mean, without Garrick, you know, half the people in this station would not be looking as fresh as they are.
Yeah, true.
Without Garrick, the total acting skill of the cast would be cut in half.
Also, the Federation would likely be losing the war completely because they would have really vital intelligence.
Oh, see,
Technically,
Mr.
he's a
Garrick.
traitor, but he's betraying the Nazis, so that's fine. You're allowed to betray evil people.
In theory, a German patriot would be resisting the Nazis, right? So
Depends how you define patriot. Like
Depends
they
what side you're on, I suppose.
Senator Vreenak? No, not Vreenak. Kretak as a patriot, but she doesn't care what side they're on. Just whatever is best for Romulus. Screw everyone else.
Oh. Where's your flowers, Worf? Come on.
What does that writing say on the thing on his sash? Does it say anything?
I think that says House of Moog, or is he
It
House
says
of...
Mr. Kronos 2355.
Okay. Is he? No, he's not House of Martok. Wait, is he House of Martok?
I think so.
I think so.
Or season 7, he must be.
So yeah, that's probably the House of Martok symbol.
It says like Martok is the best.
Martok Jr.
Worf is nice here. O'Brien's the one who says, "What would Jadzia want?" And finally, like 3 days later, he tells her,
"He probably wants to not be dead."
Yeah. But finally, he says here, Jadzia would want me to let you stay, so I'm gonna let you stay.
You should be looking her in the eye, Worf. Come on, turn around.
He is.
No.
What do you mean? He's looking
really
at her.
hard. It's hard.
Now he turned around.
It's hard. Like, remember he went on a whole battle to make sure Jadzia went to Tovacor. So like now what? Is she like not in Tovacor? Like,
well, Tovacor doesn't really exist, so no, she's not there.
Hey, you don't know whether it exists or not.
Klingon superstition. Man, Sirach Lofton is tall.
Yeah.
Him there in the background.
Just looming there.
And cut to Ezri. Wow, she's so much shorter than everyone.
Not short. She's 5'4".
She's, for the time, a short Earth female.
If you're 6 feet 1 inch tall, anything below 5 feet 8 inches is short.
She's short relative to the rest of the cast. Everyone else except like the Ferengi are pretty tall.
How tall are you, Ryan?
Not
I wonder
6
what the
foot,
average
I can tell you that.
female height is at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, you look short.
That plate looks like...
God, even Quark is taller than her. Plastic
cuboids.
Hi, RSV.
Yay, you get more bling on your collar.
Oh, I think that's a new shirt for Garrick. I don't recognize the purple sleeves.
Oh yeah, there's...
Look at that suit coat that Jake's wearing.
Yeah.
Jake always has a great ensemble.
He has an ensemble, for sure. Alright, so this whole Worf Ezri stuff is resolved, right? We don't have to deal with it again? Everything's fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was okay with it.
That's called an amicable divorce.
Is it? Were they divorced?
Well, he's a widow.
Yeah.
There's a line.
I think widower is the term for a male widow, by the way.
Meh.
Don't know.
There are too many words that are gender specific. Just get rid of them. Just make English easier.
We've gotten rid of a lot of them. I'm just saying.
Well, the thing that I dislike about the word widower is that it makes you think that you are the one who died.
Does it? I mean, I didn't know that that's what it made me think.
Let me Google widower. A man who has lost his spouse by death and is not remarried.
I am the widower.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a rare
so-
thing because generally it's the other way around, so it's not used very often.
But we don't. It doesn't have to be a gendered word. That just makes it unnecessarily complicated. There's no benefit to it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't use the word actress anymore. We say actor now for like the Oscars.
A lot of the etymology of our words were gendered, so it only makes sense that they evolved into having gendered pairs.
But we can
only
get
because we
rid
took
of
it from
it.
the French.
We have the technology to change it.
Yes,
We
but
have pen and paper.
is there a need to do it?
Yes.
I don't know.
To simplify. All right, the next episode is Take Me Out to the Holosuite.
Take
We have to have a 7th inning stretch. After this episode, we have to have a 7th inning stretch.
I don't know what that means in this context. I don't know what that means in any context, actually. I don't know how
That's
to play
some baseball terminology or something.
Yeah, in American baseball, after the
What other
inning,
kinds of baseball are there?
Nobody else plays baseball.
there are
It's a
9
trash
innings-
sport.
There are 9 innings in American baseball, and after the 7th inning, I believe it is, the tradition is everybody in the audience stands up, stretches, and then they all sing me, Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Why?
Is the game so boring to watch that you have to stand up and stretch?
Yes.
It is. Baseball
It's the
is
worst
the most
sport.
boring. Baseball is the most boring sport that you have a crowd for. The only one worse is golf, and that one
You've
you
never
can't
seen a
have
snooker
real
game,
golf,
have you?
Real
That's
crowd for.
who sits around and watches a pool game.
Snooker.
Also,
Whoa,
everybody
they're
get ready to
different.
press play
Different.
in
There's
5,
a distinction.
4, shut up, 3, 2, 1, play. Unshut up.
Baseball.
Baseball's not a game.
I remember watching this. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if that's even work.
This is
The
really
most
bad that I
boring
said.
sport I've ever watched is darts.
What? Are you mental?
No, I am very sane. Unlike the people who watch darts.
I watched this episode in 1999 when it was airing. I was in 7th grade, and baseball was popular back then. People didn't disparage it like they do today, and it was just so unforeseen. But I remember though I was typing in an AOL chat room, and when Odo was doing the umpire sounds, that's when somebody else was watching it later.
Hey!
That's right.
Am I unmuted? Oh yeah, I am. Okay.
Christopher Pike got a medal named after him. Wow.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Several
I'm
people have gotten the
unmuted.
Christopher Pike Medal of Honor.
I'm unmuted. I was going to say something.
So Cisco's like he got his last month. These two are old, and he implies here that like they're behind the lines. So Deep Space Nine is not in jeopardy. And it's like, well, we've been taken over by Dominion. I've had my son in.
But now
Dominion
it's safe
behind
because
enemy
they have
lines.
literal gods protecting them.
My son was behind enemy lines for months. Please don't start.
Well, how many Christopher Pike medals do you have?
Yeah.
Jake does not get to brag about being behind enemy lines. He just had weird arguments about journalism with a weird Hobbit man. That's all he did.
I was going to say that. I was going to say this when I was confused if I was muted or not. But I was going to say was after a long time. Right now, my baseball. I'm from Cleveland, so my baseball team now is called the Cleveland Indians. But starting next year, it's going to be the Cleveland Guardians.
Yep.
The Cleveland what?
Guardians.
Guardians.
My Guardians of the Galaxy.
What
Jake was not going to be executed. That was no, he wasn't in the cells. Yeah, they left him alone.
He was helping the resistance.
Yeah, but they didn't arrest him, I don't think.
Okay, but he was helping the resistance. He was a Maquis fighter. He was right there with Charles de Gaulle.
Did he? What did Jake do as part of the resistance? As I recall, the only thing Jake did was get Morn as a courier, and that was entirely on accident. It wasn't his idea.
Team building exercise.
Ryan, your microphone's clipping a bit, by the way.
My microphone's clipping a bit.
Yeah. Was it just me?
It happened a little bit yesterday, but we realized it wasn't on stream. So
let me check the YouTube stream. Let me listen to it back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm good, but I haven't.
This is a golden opportunity for you to explain why darts is a superior sport.
No, darts in itself is crap. However, if you ever go to a darts event and you go and drink all the beer with everybody and currently get breathed on, obviously, but it's a very good, fun time to be in. In terms of spectating, it's quite up there. The sport itself is irrelevant.
We will destroy them.
We will destroy them. So you guys remember that bit from from earlier in the series where he talked about how he accidentally killed a guy playing a sport?
Yeah, as a child.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I listened back to the stream. I sound fine there. I don't know what's up with Discord.
He's fine with it. It's all good now. He talked about it once, and so it's fine.
Do not skip the intro.
Do not skip
the direction of this episode is so amazing because he doesn't say
Morph kill somebody.
He doesn't say baseball when he gets out of the office, but he says, "Call our senior staff meeting right now." And then it's like, okay, we're in the senior staff meeting.
Well, he's got plenty of time. Nothing's urgent. He's there behind the lines. Nothing's going on.
Yeah, and then he even tells him, like, why don't you go take your ship to a Vulcan station, like 50 light years away, and they'll do it faster. So, like, the Vulcan came here just to taunt Captain Sisko. But,
yeah, I mean, it turns out that Vulcan has been basically just doing that for fun for the whole, the whole time those guys have been in Starfleet. That Vulcan has just been trying to, flex on him the whole time.
Yeah.
Has he appeared in this season before? Or series?
No.
I don't think so.
Wait, who are we talking about again?
It's Captain
The Vulcan.
Oh, yeah, no, he's new.
What's his name? Captain
Solok.
Solvok?
Captain
Solak. Or Solok.
I met her to convince him to close the board.
And then, then at the very end, before they cut to commercial, he tells them what the sport is, which is baseball. So it's like they're really doing a great job to make us laugh and also express us how unlikable that Vulcan character is.
He also plays a character in Enterprise, but that's his only other Star Trek role. He's a religious zealot.
Ryan, I turned you up just now, but you're still coming low. I mean, we can hear you, but
I hear you pretty normal, right?
Okay.
It sounds fine on stream. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, just click there.
Might just be me, but I turned you up.
That's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, Worf, that's not how baseball works. There's no runners at home. God.
You've got their wee diagram out.
I'm going to
know about all these rules.
I'm going to the Star Trek convention in a few weeks.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, in a few weeks. So I'm gonna be gone all week.
Ryan, I may have moved my mic a little bit closer, but the funny thing about this writing is that every single rule that they cite at the beginning right now comes up later in the episode. So it sounds like they're just going off like the most minute and obscure rules.
The nice thing about that kind of scene is they can have the script in front of them because it's just there on the pad.
It's on a pad. Yeah. And it looks like they're just reading the rules, but actually
they are just reading the rules. It's honest acting. I wish he was making that up. That's a dumb name. Why is that a name?
I had never heard of a Fancy Dan, and I played Little League.
Heard of it.
What's a Fancy Dan?
Well, they just explained that, didn't they?
It's
No, they don't.
No, they cut it off.
They do
Here's what it
explain
is.
Here.
Why do you need the approval of the spectators? This isn't the gladiatorial arena. You're not being voted on who dies.
Ronald D. Moore wrote this. Chip Chalmers directed this.
Part of sport is flourish, though.
Baseball is a fun sport. It's just don't, if you have an iPad, you'd rather play Temple Run.
You weren't invited to this. You can't invite yourself to these people's team building activity.
No.
Whose outfit is very trippy.
No, you can't invite yourself. No, don't.
At least the sport where you kick the ball is more interesting to watch than baseball. At least people are pretending to be hurt there.
Kickball is a great combination of baseball and kicking a ball. We played that a lot in my school.
You sold yours a long time ago.
Oh, how much did he get?
That inspires him, though, to try out for the team. So.
Why are there even tryouts, though? He just told them they're on the team.
We get the best comedy episode ever.
Oh yeah, it's the wacky music.
In the middle of a war, no less.
Yeah, but you need some R&R in the middle of the war, or you'll just go insane.
For sure.
Oh, he's got a San Francisco hat. Nice.
I'm just gonna ask.
He has an Atlanta Braves hat.
I was going to ask, does Jake play baseball? He does. I can see he does.
Now, why does Cisco have a San Francisco hat and not, say, a Cestus 3 hat?
Weren't the Bell Riots in San Francisco?
The baseball was not on Cestus 3. It was
everything on Earth is in San Francisco. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's the baseball team.
There are two cities, San Francisco and Paris only shows up once.
Yeah. So... San Francisco is Starfleet headquarters. Paris is Federation headquarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Federation headquarters rotates, though, canonically, around the size.
How is the Holosuite big enough for this to work? Don't worry about it. It's fine. It has treadmills and force fields and projections and stuff.
Yeah, it just modifies the force field as they run about.
No, the holodeck is not big enough for this to work.
At what point is the holodeck, the physical space, so full that the holodeck can no longer compensate and make everyone look far apart?
It just looks like you're running away from the person. You're not actually running away from them.
My assumption, my headcanon for this is everyone is in a little cubicle, and each wall of the cubicle has a projection showing what they should see from their perspective.
Yeah, that's like real life VR right now.
Yeah.
Multiplayer VR.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, though, they can't be spread out the way the infield is. So
I can't hear you.
And then it also has to have a little speaker that transmits to everyone and makes the sound correct from a distance with reverb and everything. And it's
Yeah, you gotta have ray tracing for sound.
Oh god, Rom already missed a ball.
We already have that.
The first ball that was thrown was Kira to Rom in the distance, and he missed.
Yeah, of course.
Quark's pants are pulled up so high.
So are Kira's.
I guess you just batted the ball away instead of trying to catch
Actually, Kira doesn't have pants. That's a onesie.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I love this because, some of us were nerds and not good at baseball, so Rom really speaks to us right now.
Ooh, I never noticed that Jay Cisco name tag there.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Who's gonna forget your name, Jake? We all know who you are.
I was on Little League. I was so bad.
Could they get Bok Kai? There was that alien that pretended to be Bok Kai and gave Cisco his baseball. They could get Bok Kai on the team.
That would be great.
Actually, that's a good point. A holographic umpire would be
perfectly
a good thing.
Fair, but it wouldn't feel fair.
Knowledgeable, perfectly fair.
It's not supposed to be like that, though.
In a game, I mean, I don't play baseball.
As opposed to a hologram, Odo has a heart, so definitely he should be
the
umpire.
Doesn't. He doesn't even have blood. What does he need a heart for?
Okay, but now in the games, though, right? They rewind and they go back to the camera. So you do de facto have, the umpire is overruled if the camera shows that it was a ball or a strike or whatever.
I don't really do physical sports. I mean, not since I was a kid. But
what is a non-physical sport? An e-sport?
Chess.
But I'm thinking like in games, you generally
it's a game.
You often don't want things to be fair. You want it to be. You want it to be generous.
What do you mean by that?
Not very Starfleet of you, Ryan.
Well, I mean, when a game is perfectly fair, it's often very frustrating if you're losing, because it's like, oh no, I could have done better. That's the game cheating me.
Yeah.
The player feels like they could have done better.
You can get demoralized. I remember, like, so I tried Little League for the better part of a year. I got demoralized, and after a few games, like, we won our first game, and I wasn't there. So, you know, the important thing is not to lose heart.
Here's an example. In platformers, it would be perfectly fair if once your last pixel went off a ledge, you fell down, but it always gives you like a 2 or 3 pixel grace period, or like a fraction of a second grace period after you fall, so that you can jump again.
I've put the most non-fair version I can see in the general chat.
I think you're mistaking the distinction between fairness and accuracy, though. Oh my god!
And you're not allowed to say anything about a Scotsman there.
Are you allowed to do that in soccer?
No.
No, that's got to be a foul.
That's the galling thing. It was only a yellow card rather than a red card.
Let me put that on stream for you guys.
It's not too clear, but you can't tell whether.
And I definitely can say something about it. I'll choose not to.
Chris.
I don't know why they're so obsessed about the positions of everyone. Everyone's terrible on the team. What does it matter? Nobody knows how to play. Triangle ship. That's Cassidy's ship. Cassidy is a triangle now. She swapped out her ship.
Oh.
It didn't used to be a triangle.
The reason they're so obsessed about it is because it wastes like a good 10-15 minutes of the episode.
We're up to 49 triangles.
That was the most prominent triangle ever, I think.
Yeah, before her ship, was that even Cassidy's freighter? Because previously, Cassidy's freighter was this weird boxy thing. Is this new since she went to prison? She had to get another ship? Did hers get taken by the state?
Hopefully we can get up to 50.
I'm sure we will. Well, we definitely will, because I know of some in Enterprise and Voyager.
Probably here, in this episode.
This is interesting because I actually took up baseball as a sport this summer. As a post-COVID, I'm going to do something with my life, and I really enjoy it. This is why I tuned in for this episode, actually.
Hey. Are you as good as Rom?
Currently.
Okay.
I am better. No, yeah, I'm better.
This is also one of the rare occasions where
you'd be surprised, actually. So when a ball's coming straight at you, your fielders who are parallel to you will shout in or out. Because it's actually remarkably hard to see a small white ball coming towards you, and you can't tell if it's coming towards you or going to go over your head. And so,
especially the cloudy British sky, if you're
okay, a white ball you lose it in the sky. And I'm a Giants fan, so I appreciate Cisco's cap.
Throw the bat at him, Worf. Go.
Hit him with the bat. Beat him to death. Wait, would the holodeck safety protocols work for a literal
destroy
bat?
Them.
For just a bat? Or does it only work for guns? It should work for a bat. It's probably fine.
Yeah.
This is like the DS9 episode of Cupid in TNG.
Why they made him walk funny? Did they say, like, the director said, just walk funny up to the bat?
Yes.
That's just how Rom
You also notice, as someone else mentioned in the YouTube chat, Rom here is playing left-handed because Max Grodenchik, who's right-handed, is actually really good at baseball. So he had to play left-handed to be bad.
So he had to play left-handed for this episode. You're saying, right?
Yes. To convincingly be a terrible batter.
Butterfly.
Oh. Though the falling over probably was not caused by him being left-handed. That's probably not it.
I might not be as funny. Yes, funny, especially on this.
You can do it.
Jake's got a bit of a chub on. It's awful.
Why are you looking there?
I wasn't. It was kind of prominent. I was like, ugh.
We're making a Christian Minecraft family-friendly content here.
Apologies.
And they probably have a cup. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you probably would if the balls are constantly flying at you like that.
With these people on the team, you want as much protection as you can get. Frankly, they should all be wearing helmets instead of just caps.
True. And the catcher should be wearing the mat or whatever it is.
Well, real baseball, they don't wear helmets. They wear caps.
The holodeck might have sorted it out.
Yeah, if it hits you square in the face, the holodeck probably just like stops the ball.
Well, actually, hang on.
That would be cool.
I was asking before, would the safety protocols work for the bat? And apparently not, because Quark's skull was shattered by Rom hitting him with a bat.
Ooh. You're right.
Maybe the safeties are off.
Or maybe the bat was real.
For the authentic baseball experience.
Yeah.
Maybe he brought the bat into the holodeck and the bat was not holographic.
If you bring a real object into the holodeck and the safeties are on, though, it would still stop any damage, wouldn't it?
I'm just looking at everyone's name tags. I never noticed them before.
Or would it?
Nerys, O'Brien. Not Miles.
Quark's like quick. Like the chocolate milk.
What does it say O'Brien?
It said O'Brien. It didn't say Miles. Kira gets to be Nerys. She gets to use her last name.
What's Theo's last names, not rather than first names?
Does Esri have Esri or Dax?
Just for easy to understand.
I'm not sure.
Probably Dax, but I haven't seen it yet. No.
I like how nobody ever mentions how weird it is what these people are wearing relative to everyone else.
Scotch flavored gum.
Is that Scotch tape? No. Well, it might be somewhere, but
God, it's future space gum that never runs out of flavor.
Yeah,
that I would actually, if that was Scotch flavored bubblegum, I'd buy that.
Okay.
A decent.
I'm sure it exists.
Probably. I've had Lefroy fudge, and that was excellent.
Get that stupid smug look off your face, Sadiq.
Hey, this is actually good practice here.
It's harder than it looks as well.
I can't read her name tag. Oh, it says Esri.
That's why you wear the cap, so you can express frustration easily.
There's no one that
you can express frustration better if you have an actual hard helmet that you can throw at someone. They could hit people with it.
No.
Odo.
That's cumbersome though, it slows you down as you run.
What are you doing, Odo?
I was practicing his empire.
He's practicing?
Yes.
I like Kira's hair.
Is that Odo?
Yeah!
Keep it up, Odo.
Usually Cassidy rather. Not Cisco yet. Soon. Usually when people say tell me something I don't know, they don't actually mean it. That's rhetorical. You don't have to call him out.
Okay.
I'm sure Cisco's baseball swing is perfect.
Is that the Terminator head?
He lifted his foot up at the plate.
You're also not supposed to wear dress shoes when playing baseball.
He's not playing baseball right now. He's in his quarters. Cassidy, why are you wearing heels? Cisco's dressed all casual. Why do you have heels on, Cassidy? Honestly, why do people even have shoes on in here? You're in your front. You don't need shoes.
I know this is ex-Cardassian and everything, but surely he could paint the wall already. He's been living there for 7 years.
Does it have carpet? It's gotta have carpet, even if it's just to reduce noise on the set.
The bar was called the launching pad.
Yeah.
You want more research on research on illogical human bonding rituals?
Yeah, Solok is just he's just a racist. Which, to be fair,
Too much actually.
in TOS, Vulcans were racist. In TNG, I don't remember. But in DS9, they're racist.
Maybe, I mean, yeah.
In Enterprise, they're racist.
There's always going to be a few, isn't there?
What happens if a Vulcan gets drunk?
Vulcans don't drink.
Illogical.
So saith Ambassador Saval. And probably Spock. They just drink tea all the time.
It has the same effect and they just don't tell us.
So
that's why they're always so chill.
The one line here causes so many issues in canon. Stronger than humans.
What, Vulcans? Isn't
A
that
Vulcan
quite
has
widely
3 times the strength of a human. That causes so many issues in canon of Vulcans not very clearly being 3 times stronger than their human opponents.
Yeah, Cisco also just said they're faster.
They don't seem
exactly
faster.
see any. You don't see any jacked.
You're not.
Vulcans, do you?
You're also, if you're wrestling properly, you're not supposed to get dislocated shoulder and 2 cracked ribs.
Yeah, see that.
I mean, there's
inherently superior. You can't say that.
Unless if he's talking about wrestling by rules, then there are actual rules in wrestling and strategy, and you're not supposed to seriously get injured.
I feel like they weren't going by proper official rules, given that he was drunk.
Oh, okay, forgot that.
Solok wasn't drunk, but he probably doesn't know the rules of illogical human sports anyway. It was just a fight.
Damn, me.
Where was Avery Brooks born and raised?
He's American, I think.
You need to be a little bit more specific.
As in which country in the Americas or where in the United States?
No, like
which region of the US?
He was born in Evansville, Indiana.
But it was Gary, Indiana, that made me. Okay. Because that doesn't... Well, I've never
Gary,
been
Indiana.
there.
Isn't that like the worst city?
I would not know. Also, I would not know for this next sentence, but he, like in moments where he's there ticked off about the wrestling match there, he sounds very much like he's from the United States South. And I wouldn't know, but it sounds like it to me.
Who?
Avery Brooks.
Okay. Yeah, no, I noticed he does a funny thing with his accent when he yells at Nog and he tells him, sorry, not Nog, Rom. He says, that's the smartest thing you've said all week. He really channeled some Southern coach football varsity guy, he does do that.
Okay, so that's him acting, in other words.
Captain Cisco is also, yes, as mentioned, from New Orleans. So he might be integrating that occasionally. Cisco's from New Orleans. Avery is not.
Either.
But you gotta love Cisco's girlfriend, because it's like,
I think he is.
You can't tell the crew. And the next thing is, now he made me promise not to tell you. But honestly,
that's a breakup, Cassidy. You can't break a promise like that.
The crew would have not understood why Cisco was acting so crazy.
Cisco's always acting crazy.
So,
that's his whole shtick.
So
this is a whole different level.
So the UFP has an actual anthem, huh? It's expressly made here.
See, that's the shot. I was trying to get... They had to swoop the camera down to get her in frame. And there's Nog. They had to do the same thing for Nog.
I need to replay that later.
They swooped down a little bit for that guy.
Hey, Niner.
That was a Black Vulcan. We never see Black Vulcans. I thought the only one was Tuvok.
Tuvok and the other guy, Tim Russ, when Picard was doing a Baryon sweep.
I don't think
20th century American audience in the stands.
Cleveland Indians are going to get getting the name changed after 106 years.
Yeah. Are you for that or against it?
I don't know, but it just said that on my Echo show.
It's a fact.
You think there'd be a lot more Black Vulcans because their planet is so hot?
Yeah.
They have a lot of solar radiation coming in. Cisco mentions the UV rays bouncing off the sand.
Like, fire caves and lava pools are just normal occurrences that you can see as a tourist on their planet.
Well, it doesn't have to do with the heat. Skin color is about the solar radiation.
Yeah, and it's how have you seen the Enterprise episodes when they're there? It's really, really hot place.
Yes.
This would have been a lot more exciting to have the live audience in the stands, but for shooting logic, it makes sense to not have it.
And yes, there's a black Romulan in Pegasus.
Pegasus.
Tim Russ is on the Enterprise B in Star Trek 6, so he's a Black Vulcan yet again.
He's still that's just.
He's
Tuvok.
also in the episodes of the Baryon sweep.
I said that, but I understand. But that means in the 23rd century and the 24th century we have Black Vulcan.
Well, it's the same Vulcan.
The logician.
We already know about Tuvok.
That has not been established as Tuvok. That could have been someone else.
Tuvok.
No, there's a whole episode about that being Tuvok. What are you talking about?
The same actor was Tuvok.
Okay.
Tuvok has an episode in Voyager where he flashbacks to his time with Captain Sulu.
Yeah.
You know, oh my God, I'm sorry. Tupac, I'm sorry. We said Tuvok, so, and I'm eating ice cream, so
I said
my mouth is numb. Captain Sisko has the toothpick in his mouth, which is just completing the whole
thing. The whole package. But
yeah.
So they had a whole inning strikeout. That's very Charlie Brown of them.
I was thinking that Tuvok would make a good Sisko. Not that Sisko's bad, but Tuvok would make a good Sisko.
By the way,
probably because he's a great actor.
These Vulcans are not playing around at all. Like, to slide down and knock over the player at the base is like, you're dirty.
I'd have to play that again.
You have to get out of the way. You have to get out of the way of the
it's not
runner.
Sporting.
It's not sporting, but also you're going to give him the backside of the plate. You are right.
So I looked it up. There are other Black Vulcans, notably Tuvok's wife and son.
Okay.
There's also a few background actors who don't have any lines, but they're there.
Michael Burnham.
She's not a Vulcan.
Okay.
I would really wonder if any of these
Vulcan or something. I don't remember.
How does that work?
She's like such a.
Also, as boring as baseball can be sometimes to watch, especially if there's a minute between pitches because you're waiting for commercial breaks or whatever. As boring as baseball might be, cricket is not as interesting as baseball.
Oh dear.
There's a whole world full of people who would disagree with you.
Yeah. Cricket made it around the world.
Kira's not even close to the plate. What's she doing? Is she allowed to be that far away? She's been inching over this whole time.
Yeah, there's a few dozen countries that would disagree with that cricket proposition there.
Why is the only one with protective gear the only one who can't be hurt by physical objects?
A human can throw a ball at like 100 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, but he just morphs around it. He's made of goo. I guess Kira has a hat, so that's
because it's traditional. That's why.
Yeah, the reason that I think baseball is much more interesting than cricket is because cricket only has 2 bases, baseball has 4. So
so bases is directly proportional to enjoyment.
Well, in the sense of there's more going on.
Yeah,
we should increase the bases in baseball, and it'll be even more fun.
What if we had 20 bases? That's 5 times as many bases.
Imagine a home run on that.
Okay. So this game was meant to be played by, little kids on a sandlot. So you probably only had, you can't have 20 bases because towns weren't that big.
Is this baseball?
That's how real baseball. That's how real baseball is. Arguments.
So Odo doesn't have like a photographic memory. He doesn't have a great memory as part of his species. He just has a regular human-sized memory. So he did a lot of research. He knows the exact paragraph in the rules where this is.
Right.
I wonder if they ad-libbed any of this on the baseball field.
Is that a pizza on his hat?
Yes. The Logicians are the pizza team.
There's so many gifable moments in this episode. Like that hat tip from the Vulcan.
Yeah.
Pizza delivery.
Hang on, they don't have name tags anymore. They just have the patches.
Because they're in uniform now.
I was gonna say, Chief. Go ahead.
They have names on the back.
I like how they've integrated DS9 into the baseball's weaving.
That's pretty clever.
I can picture oh bother, who plays Miles O'Brien?
Colm Meaney.
Yeah, Colm Meaney. I can picture him being a baseball dad like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I remember they used to sell like bubblegum. Bubblegum was invented because baseball players would chew tobacco and that was bad for the kids. So instead, like, okay, why don't you chew this thing? And
no, Julian, that's not a fancy Dan.
Isn't it kind of bad to chew anything that might get lodged in your airways when you're playing a sport, though?
You only do it when you're in the...
But we've already established that in baseball nothing happens, so you don't need to worry about that. You're mostly just standing around and occasionally swinging something and missing.
So I remember when I was a kid, though, they used to sell this big league chew. It's this giant pack of bubblegum as big as your hand. And it's just like strings of bubblegum like fit into a pouch. And
yeah, it's the form factor is an imitation of pouch tobacco.
So that music that was playing just now, that's actual battle music they used during the Dominion War, and they're using it for baseball.
Yeah. The strings, yeah.
The stakes are high.
There are no stakes. Nothing's happening here. Nothing happens if they lose. Again, that line, find him and kill him, feels a lot different knowing that Worf killed a child playing sports.
Racist.
No, just tag. You don't have to stop and look for confirmation on each one. Just tag all of them.
Yeah.
But it's spark are they actually in?
They give us the direction.
Where's this actually filmed?
It's a real baseball area.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a major league one because those are huge.
DS9, take me out to the Holosuite. Let me look it up.
You know, it's a good thing that Cisco was kicked out to the bleachers because that's what allowed him to connect with Rom and bring him back into the game and win.
At Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles.
Okay.
That's a Catholic school.
Okay.
I know Catholics play baseball.
The good thing about baseball, though, is that since nothing happens, it's heavily monetizable. You can sell all sorts of things there.
Peanuts,
Like
popcorn,
crosswords.
See, like
crosswords,
Like beer.
Sudoku.
Come on, baseball is not that boring.
Yeah,
you don't need crosswords.
These guys are like totally millennials over here.
Time on a Game Boy, maybe.
We're like boomers, you and me, Bill.
You don't want to boomer tag yourself. That's not somewhere you want to go.
I know, but I'm just saying I feel like such a boomer because I think like baseball is an interesting sport. Actually, it is fun to watch and play. I mean,
it is a good game. It's good. It's fun.
It is fun, but
it's fun to watch when it's an entire game condensed. An entire game condensed into 15 minutes for a TV show, with music.
Which is you and your friends.
In terms of pacing, baseball and football are poor. I much more prefer, in terms of pacing, I much more prefer ice hockey or
ice hockey. I much prefer.
I mean, hockey is just soccer on ice, so.
Or European
No, it's
football.
not.
Yeah, this is
not like on the surface it is, but the games are quite different.
If you're looking for the drama of baseball, one thing I recommend, not to promote another YouTube channel, but there's a guy called John Boy who does these breakdowns of baseball. They are the funniest things you'll ever see because he does all the lip reading and stuff.
I like how Cisco brought the crowd back for ROM because like we had it off the whole episode, but
yeah. Oh, there's when the pandemic began, there's this one sports announcer who was out of work, obviously, because there were no sports being played. And so he decided to just take videos on the internet and do sports commentary on them.
Wow.
I can't remember his name, but he should take some clips from this episode and do it at.
I love this. They have a code for bunting. Oh,
Are those shin guards? Shin guards on Jake?
Yeah.
Jake and Julian?
No, they're just socks, I think.
I know they are, yeah. But you do wear shin guards.
I'm trying to look at everyone else's, and their socks are very different. Like, Kira clearly has the white spots, but they're much lower down on her shoes.
I never noticed that.
You did it, Rom. Wow, you're so good at baseball.
He hit the ball, didn't even realize what he did. We're having so much fun with our characters.
It also occurred to me that they had to re-sew the baseball caps for the Ferengi.
Yeah, much larger heads.
I would love to buy one of these jerseys, like a screen-worn jersey. I don't know if they exist, but this would be cool.
I'll take a baseball cap.
Esri's shirt now says Dax, where her name tag said Esri.
I think name tags are first name and those are last name.
Wow, they lost.
But Miles was O'Brien on both. Well, okay, they won. They won in spirit. Good job, Rom. You did it.
Yeah. And look, this is the ultimate victory. Getting a Vulcan ejected from the game for being too emotional.
Noto's having a great time. He's loving it.
That's what you get for messing with our Captain Cisco.
No, that's what you get for touching the umpire.
Yeah, emotional, forgot the rules, Vulcan. See, like at one point, he was yelling at him, like, why don't you stop admiring him and start playing? And now he is reassuring as a dad.
They
like
need
how
to be
in the
eating
background, Nog and one of the Vulcans, they're just hanging out. They're chill. It's fine. It's just a game.
Yeah, they made friends.
They're in Starfleet together. It's fine.
Yeah.
They should all be having ice cream. That's what you're supposed to have after the baseball game.
Why?
I already had it.
Tradition?
But it's implied in this episode the Vulcans have their own ships, fleets, and star bases, and they just think they're so superior.
They do have their own ships.
Yeah. Cisco does it.
They mentioned the Vulcan Defense Force a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they actually go anywhere.
In TNG,
every member world has their own
no.
small governing
look
body.
Behind Julian when we see him again. Look, right there. That's not Worf. I don't know who that is, but it's not Worf.
Maybe it's busy. Yes, the irritation.
There he is. Who's that guy?
Who the hell is that?
That's not Worf.
Who?
The guy right behind Julian, who's supposed to be Worf, but clearly it's not Worf.
His eyes are all bugged out. That's not Michael Dorn. Human.
I forget to wear my spots today.
This Vulcan needed it.
If you pause and look at
cool.
Quark's signature, the Q has ears. It has lobes.
Lovely.
And Worf's is all capital letters.
Wow.
Worf's is written in blood.
Oh,
Wait, but the line, would you like to sign it, is pretty good too. Because
there's his ears.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
That's what makes him walk away.
That's some pretty good catch.
I'm sure
Good
that
bar.
every one of the actors actually signed that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by accident.
I'm sure that's worth like $1 million, like a Babe Ruth one.
So is that? No.
Well, not a Babe Ruth one, so let me shut up.
The nice thing about that one is you could just get a baseball and fake autograph it like that and pretend it's from the episode.
Yeah.
And actually go out and play baseball with it.
Right.
That was a really fun episode.
1 minute to the final episode, Chrysalis, about Julian having questionable ethics. And we also get Admiral Patrick.
All the doctors are pretty questionable on a starship.
We don't get Admiral Patrick Stewart, but we do get Admiral Patrick. So that's fine. That's acceptable. Yeah, this is an episode all about the mutants again. You know, the ones who are traitors to the Federation. Tried to surrender to the Dominion, tried to hand over secret battle plans and fleet deployments and all that stuff to Wayun. Those guys, yeah, they're back. They're fine.
Wow. Guess how much the flute went for and the baseball went for?
Tens of thousands.
$40,000.
That was cheap. It's worth way more now.
Ugh, that's for sure.
If you say so.
I'd buy that baseball though.
Yeah.
For 40,000.
I'd forgo buying a car and I'd make.
Everybody, get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3. Oh wait, hang on. OBS is working again. Wait. It's coming back.
Trying to reload.
Okay, and the stream is back too.
Stream is back.
Okay, yeah, I saw the
T-minus
super
118.
Everybody.
T plus 118.
Everybody, hang on.
We're
Hold.
live.
Okay.
I'm restarting the countdown thing. I fixed it. Wait, how do I sound on the stream? How do I sound on the stream?
Stream
Okay, I sound fine on stream. Okay, we're starting the countdown again. We're starting the 1 minute countdown again.
Okay.
I'm traumatized now.
Good thing that happened then instead of partway through the episode.
In the middle of an episode.
I don't know what happened. I called a friend of mine, talked to him for a minute, and now I'm back.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
right.
yeah.
So the Deep Space
Press
Nine
20,
baseball
40 seconds.
costumes were estimated $700 and went for $4,500.
All right, everyone be queued up to
Well, I'm
Season
watching-
7, Episode 5, Chrysalis, and we're
Okay.
pressing play in 30 seconds.
Bill, let's go.
The video is blurry. What do you... Like more blurry than it's supposed to be? Because it's supposed to be somewhat blurry.
Me out to the
You're
crowd.
saying it wrong, and you
Shut
mean Holosuite.
No.
Peanuts.
No singing.
And Cracker Jack.
Shut up.
No
I'm
fun.
saying that wrong.
Only Star Trek.
Well, never go back.
Route to
5, 4,
The
3,
one that's
2, 1, play.
It's 1, 2, 3.
3 strikes you're out.
Muting everyone.
Okay.
I'll do the stream myself.
Yeah, don't get server muted. That's
Shucks.
not a good thing.
No, not a good thing.
Yes, if
This is.
if it's blurrier than it should be, you should be able to just adjust the quality directly. It should be okay. Or
It
reload the
keeps coming in
page.
and out.
Or just reload the page.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go to VIX. You know, we're kind of doing something ourselves, Doc.
Yeah.
You're single. That's not our problem.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Excelsior.
Three's a crowd, especially when you're dressed in a tuxedo.
Yeah, and
It's
sad because he says, "I understand." You know, like he was expecting an apology, but he didn't even get one.
Cheeky virus, you've mutated on me. Well, you can run, but you can't hide. Boy,
You
is
can
that
run.
Run, but you can't hide.
Delta variant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Delta variant.
Now we're on the Gamma variant. Keep up, guys.
This is ridiculous.
Admiral Patrick.
Did we ever see Girani before, Dr. Girani?
Maybe. I don't know. Though
I don't think so.
I find it odd that that Julian was weirded out by the name Admiral Patrick. It's like, you don't know the name of every admiral in Starfleet, do you? You don't know all of them. It's a big fleet.
Yeah. And
That's a stupid question.
I don't know. Otherwise, I would say I don't know.
The Farragut is a very important ship in Starfleet. It rescued the Enterprise D after it crashed on that planet.
He suits being an admiral, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, they're not officers. And I'm like 99% sure this is illegal and a felony.
Huge. And but this is before 9/11, so
Don't be nice,
it wasn't as big of a
Patrick.
deal. But if you ever do that, you're gonna see the inside of a prison cell for like a year at least.
What?
Imitating.
If you
Navy
wear military or law enforcement uniform and you are not an officer,
Oh yeah.
they're not playing. So please,
Not even if you're one of the village people.
So the framing of this shot, when he walked in and then he's like, "Oh, you wanted Serena," and he walked over and reveals, "Oh, here's Serena." Julian could see her. She was right there. Just because we couldn't see her on the camera, you're going to prison, Patrick. That's what they're going to do to you.
Look at that sass pose that she's got.
Yeah, she always does that. That's who she is.
She
That's
is
her mutation.
100% sass. Yeah.
her character is just. What does cataleptic mean? Because I know catatonic. That's something that schizophrenics go into.
Cataleptic is
Trance-like state, I assume.
something.
Well,
It's a
I'll
thing.
look it up here.
Trance or seizure with a loss of sensation and consciousness, accompanied by rigidity of the body.
Well, she's not exactly that, but okay.
Catalepsy. Yeah.
It's just mute.
From the
Okay.
Greek catalepsis, meaning seizing or grasping, a nervous condition characterized by muscular rigidity and fixity of posture, regardless of external stimuli, as well as decreased sensitivity to pain.
That's pretty intense.
Thanks,
Thank you.
computer.
So yeah,
I mean, I didn't.
given that these people have just committed a felony, are they going to in fact be sent to New Zealand? Beautiful New Zealand?
The doctor works it out with Captain Sisko. You guys, I'm still sad about Dax.
Yeah, get over dead Dax. We don't want her anymore. She's not here.
We're
We
still.
had a whole
mourning her.
episode to get over. It's
It
about
wasn't
time.
that.
Oh, come on, she's fine. Somebody just had a YouTube, video with her a couple
She's
weeks
fine.
ago.
Why did they
There's a new backstory. About
They
it.
got Jetzi off the show because of Rick Berman. That's why.
What do you mean by that?
I don't remember the whole story. Something like they needed to renew the contract, and there were some negotiations going on, and those were mired by the fact that Rick Berman is a huge creep.
Yeah, exactly.
She was demanding something, and she
sometimes-
she basically did what Captain Picard did in Star Trek Picard, where if you don't accept this, I'm not coming back to the show, and they're like, fine, leave.
Right.
Yeah,
Instantly full on
H.
kill.
McFadden did the same thing. She came back.
Right.
I mean, but I think it was for different reasons. But I think it was pretty similar.
Oh, what Jetzi
Except she came
or
back.
Jetzi? Her name's not Jetzi. Her name's Terry. what Terry Farrell wanted. Yeah, I'm starting to remember now. Was she wanted to be on fewer episodes, basically. She wanted to be a recurring role, but she didn't want to be in every single episode. She wanted to go do other stuff.
Yeah, they said we're not willing
to
work with you.
They wouldn't let her. Yeah. It was all or nothing.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the funny thing is, Cisco says here, you know, when Bashir's like, oh, they meant well. And he's like, yeah, they meant well when they tried to pass military dominion last time.
Why are they not still in prison for that?
Yeah.
That's my question.
They're for the same reason. Like, if somebody's mentally not all there, you really can't charge them for a crime the same way.
Oh, they were not of sound mind?
Yeah, I mean, there's a case to be made, I think.
Okay. I don't know the background of these characters.
Directed by Jonathan West.
Do you owe it to her?
Yeah, you really don't, homie.
You didn't make her this way.
Yeah, and you're not responsible for all genetically engineered people who have side effects.
What is Serena? Who is Serena? What's her background?
She's the blonde lady who's mute.
She's a tennis player.
She was made mute because her parents did the genetic engineering on her. So even though she's enhanced, the thing was that she became into that state, the cataleptic state. Mute.
Actually, is she even blonde? She has lightish hair, but it's sort of like a very light brown.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, she's a mutant, like everyone else.
She's a mutant.
There she is. That's Serena.
Like, she has a mind going on in there. It's just she can't express it.
Much better.
Yeah. I guess part of the genetic modification process was obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah. These 4 are geniuses, by the way. 5 now.
Yeah, it can't be that hard. You just cut someone open, move some bits of meat around, get fixed up. It's easy.
Yeah, it's not like you have to go to school for 12 years after your normal 12 years of schooling.
Touching though. You know, season 7, time to wrap up all these characters. And yet, like, Julian has an affinity for someone of his own, not race, but race, I guess. Homo superior. And that's why he does all this, right? Like, he's not even... It's weird whether it's romantic or paternal, but like either way, he cares so much for her.
It's definitely romantic. If it's paternal, that makes his next actions real creepy.
It's a little paternalistic because I don't think he's in love with the mute girl right now. He falls in love with her after she gets a personality.
So Serena looks very pale. Is that connected to her?
No, that's just because she's white.
Yeah, I think they paled her up for that same thing, right? Like a cataleptic person really wouldn't be going outside for a walk and soaking up the vitamin D from the sun.
Or moving around to stimulate blood flow.
Though I do remember, I remember the palest person ever on the show, which was...
Depends on the look of the white skin that people have.
Which was an android named Data.
No, even paler than Data. Was a woman she was just a holographic woman. But in the episode where they thought Julian was a traitor, where Stallone was testing him, she was the woman that led him out on the promenade in handcuffs.
Really? Okay, thanks.
And her skin was just like solid 255, 255, 255 white.
So yeah, look, he's not in love
she
with
was
her
glowing.
Right now.
And that's another thing I was going to say, like, she was white, that she didn't have, like, she was dead, you know, like.
She kind of looked like she was dead.
Yeah, like dead, like
Well, she was a hologram, so she never
Scary.
lived.
No blood. No blood circulation whatsoever.
Like I think I'm pretty white, but I got nothing on her.
Last episode, when Ezri was talking about her space sickness, did someone want to say something? She asked Dr. Chief O'Brien to reduce the orbit of the station, like reduce the speed of the rotation of the station somewhat. And he tells her, I can't change the laws of physics. And right now, when Julian's asking him for a favor for the medical procedure, he's like, I can't change the laws of physics. And so the funny thing is, though, episode 1, Dr. O'Brien is the one who changes the laws of physics by moving the space station from Bajor closer to the wormhole.
Well, it just creates a partial warp bubble.
Yeah, with the deflector thing.
Yeah, but sorry,
That's not changing the laws of physics per se.
I mean,
I'm
saying if you wanted to reduce the gravitational rotation, you could probably do the warp bubble thing again by changing the size of
They're not changing the laws of physics to do it, though.
Okay.
So the portrayal of institutionalization, that's a really long word in Star Trek. Mm-hmm. These people are kept in an asylum. They can't leave. They will never be able to leave unless they sneak out like this and put on Starfleet uniforms.
Right.
And that's a stupid question.
Like
it's true.
The woman probably could have more independence because her mutation is just being very
loving,
promiscuous is her whole thing, which that's not going to prevent her from interacting with society. She's not going to hurt anyone. The other guy, the guy with the facial hair, that guy's probably actually a threat because he's put a knife to people's throats several times to get what he wanted.
Yeah. And
but
it was
not everyone needs to be there. Patrick could probably go live by himself and just have a caretaker.
Yeah.
They don't need an asylum, most of them.
You're right, and they concentrated them together, so it's like, oh, all of you stick together. Like it's
That's because like they help each other, though, isn't it? They form sort of a pseudo support group for each other.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
When they're not putting knives to each other's necks.
Yeah, and when they're not like convincing each other to do felonies.
They're also clearly very adept at escaping if they want to. So would you rather they were together and all escape together, or were apart and escaped apart?
I think apart would be better.
But then they would just escape and you'd have to track them all separately. Oh.
Serena. She's looking at the epilepsy warning.
Serena.
I mean, it's pretty amazing what he does.
I know someone named Sienna, and sometimes I get confused between Sienna and Serena.
And then we have La Serena in Star Trek Picard.
Right.
Oh, here's some trivia. For this episode, they were going to recast Serena. Because in the original episode that she was in, she didn't really have to do any acting. She just kind of sat there and looked blankly forward. But she came in and auditioned again. It's like, no, turns out she's actually pretty good. We can keep her.
I'm glad for that. That would really be a shame to break that continuity.
Yeah. What is she going to audition for or sit still for? Like she is.
I'd like to do an audition for the role of vegetable.
Great. What are your qualifications? What's your previous experience with vegetables?
I was in a...
And then you just sit there and say nothing.
At the hospital for 15 years until I woke up.
Okay.
And look, if someone says something weird here, like, oh, why does she talk like that? And it's like...
Who's never spoken before.
Yeah, it's like...
That's actually remarkable that she would be talking at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. People who are deaf can't, but not mute, can speak, but their voice does not sound refined because they don't have the feedback that the hearing person does to refine it.
Right.
Also, she might have actually spoken before. I don't know when she was operated on. Because Julian was like 6. So Serena might have been older as well.
They let them grow a little bit, which is weird.
Have these guys all been genetically modified as well, but they've all turned out a bit special?
Yeah. They're all mutants. Patrick has a I don't even know how to describe Patrick. He's not exactly naive, but he's very emotional.
The point is like upset. The reason this surgery is banned is because like, okay, maybe Julian will turn out okay and will be like a Superman, but like more often than not, you'll have like severe complications from the surgery.
And then grains are near mutants.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk about it.
Yeah, this is totally wrong.
Well, that may be his own detriment.
Yeah,
detriment.
His own social.
He doesn't know how to respond to it properly.
Part of Jack's mutation is just he's a sociopath.
Oh, dear.
This is a cute scene because all their acting comes out.
I like that scene.
In acting, you're a triple threat if you can sing and dance and act.
All you need to do to cure a speech impediment is you just have to sing for a couple of minutes.
The Sound of Music soundtrack.
It certainly would help. Wouldn't take a minute though.
And you barely get to sing when you're acting, so that's a great time too.
A name I call myself, far a long, long way to run.
All right, so this is going to continue for some time.
So season 7 basically all the main arcs have been done, and this is it.
Like, this is a nice moment, but it goes on way too long.
Yeah, not all the main arcs. We have a 7-part ending that's just all Dominion War. We have Nog's storyline to do.
Actually, so what they do here is more than just a row your boat kind of thing. But like Bach, he was able to compose a fugue just from a few notes. And then from that fugue, he was able to compose like a 7-part fugue, which is just a super human feat that is really too much for any normal person to think about.
What is a fugue?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll give you an excerpt of a book called Gödel, Escher, and Bach. And
what's a fugue, though?
A fugue is a complicated melody based on a simple one. So it's what they're doing right now. You know, it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And we made this from that little 7-scale do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti.
You know, maybe the reason that Lauren, the brunette lady, the tall one, maybe she has to be kept in the institution because she's a Black Widow.
It's really good.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe she just kills people.
She eats them afterwards, maybe, but
I mean, probably not eats, but maybe stabs.
Yeah, maybe she finishes them off. Because you're right. Seduction is her power.
What's your superpower?
Yeah.
What's with that? Look at that guy behind Julian. Is his neck just underlit, or does he have a brace or something? What is that?
It's underlit.
It looks like he had a brace.
It looks weird, but it's just underlit.
Underlit neck.
Why does nobody else have an underlit neck here?
I've not seen the underlighting.
So Julian just became a bad friend because he spent the whole time talking about himself.
He forgot one hangout. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
They're besties. That's not going to ruin their friendship.
I mean, it's inconsiderate. But if you live on the same station and it's just around the corner, it's not so bad. I think he got to talk to Morn and his sister or something.
I'll catch you all later.
See you.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing in his quarters, Serena? How did he get in? Yeah, it's Julian. That's a good question. God.
I tried all 100,000 combinations in the past hour.
That's what she said.
Wouldn't it lock it out after like the 3rd attempt? Didn't they have that on there?
It's only $19.99.
There have been 3 failed attempts to unlock your door. Please wait 5 minutes and try again.
Wait, if it was 6 digits, that's just a million.
Apparently that passcode is easy to remember for her. Like the passcode on your door.
To fill me in on the background here. So Julian, we find out at some point he was actually the product of eugenics from his parents because they thought he was not developing properly as a child.
Yeah.
And are these other people? Are these other people that he met in the facility where he was at?
Okay. So Julian met these people after it came out that he was genetically enhanced. I almost said genetically modified, but that sounds like I'm talking about a tomato.
Yeah.
He met these people after it was revealed, and he specifically met them because they were brought to him because the person who was running the asylum thought, like, oh, maybe if they can interact with another mutant who is integrated well into society, maybe he can help them.
Right, and they also wanted to use them as a think tank in the Dominion War.
Yes. So
Starfleet.
That there was that episode where he met these people, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we can talk to each other. We can talk and like figure out how to work together." And then they left. They went back to the asylum, and now they're back.
Okay, so the idea is that the idea or the thought is that all of their brains have some similarity that neurotypical people do not have.
No, they're just freak accidents from the genetic modifications.
Yeah, Julian is an example of genetic modification that went very well. Serena, Patrick, Jack, and Lauren all had something go wrong. So they all have some kind of mutation that wasn't supposed to happen, and it means they can't really integrate into society. Though Serena's is now cured, she's fine.
I mean,
her thing was that she was mute, which doesn't seem like something that keeps her from interacting, but whatever.
Yeah. So the practice of keeping mentally handicapped people in a group home, and then depending on how they're handicapped, some of them can work and have jobs. Some of them will need assisted living for the rest of their life. And that's basically, or you could live with your family. But in this case, that operation was illegal. So they need to be an institution.
No, Julian. Okay. Julian, what's wrong with... She specifically folded a napkin over that on two sides, so you wouldn't have to touch it with your fingers, and you just went and grabbed it with your thumb anyway. Use the napkin, Julian.
You gave him a Lunchable.
And the last...
Wow, look at all those arrows.
I like that top right, the label, "The end is near."
The last episode, though, established them as eccentric troublemakers. So that's why we're all like...
I don't know if I'd just call them troublemakers. Last time, they literally committed treason against the Federation.
They were trying to save the Federation.
By committing treason,
yes. In their minds, they were trying to save the Federation. It turns out they didn't factor in the Cisco properly.
Yeah, it's true.
So they didn't know everything, did they?
No, they didn't. You can never factor in the Cisco.
Yeah, preventing the heat death of the universe. That's quite a task you're setting for yourself.
It's a distant problem also. I wouldn't worry about it right now.
Why can't you change the cosmological constant, Serena?
It changes all the time.
You could ask John Delancey. He'll do it.
Yeah. Change the gravitational constant of the universe, thereby altering the mass of the asteroid.
Duh.
And apparently you can't change the gravitational constant. Was it a forecast of the Big Crunch, not heat death? Whichever. Oh yeah, it is. The arrows are all going inward. Yeah, all of the ways that the universe could end are all horrifying in different ways. The heat death, where everything just peters out and slowly dies, until eventually there's the last living thing on a planet somewhere with no stars visible in the night sky, and it's horrifying and lonely. There's the Big Crunch, where everything just collapses inward faster than the speed of light and is crushed into a single point. And there's the Big Rip, where everything is torn apart faster than the speed of light and spread across the universe.
Oh, our understanding is so rudimentary at the moment, isn't it?
Also, it's trillions of years away that, again, you don't have to worry about it.
Not just trillions, it's like 10 to the 60th years.
Yeah, the heat death, entropy, yeah. But so, but you'll have time to like make Blu-ray remasters of Deep Space Nine before then. Okay.
We don't have time for this. We've only got a few bajillion years or whatever you said.
Yeah.
Need to sort it out.
Assuming those numbers are correct. If the heat deaths in 10 to the 60th years or something like that, might be more. I don't even remember.
If heat death even is going to happen, which is we don't even know yet because it's just a proposal that we made up, basically.
Entropy is a fact of the universe. So
Argos, I know you're not really keen on theoretical evidence or evidence through math, though currently the math shows that the heat death is the most likely scenario.
Indeed, but our understanding of math changes continuously.
The energy, mass there's a conservation of both of those. So unless you're getting more energy, at some point all the atoms are going to lose their heat.
All of our current understanding is actually very new, and it will be constantly updated.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
What we think is absolute fact right now is not going to be so in 50
Nobody's
years.
saying it's absolute fact. We're saying it's the most likely situation with what we know.
The Big Bang Theory.
Yes, but what we know is so very little.
The Big Bang Theory, for example, I think is less than 60 years old.
We can't... Just because we don't know everything doesn't mean we have to say we know nothing.
Every single experiment we've done to like check it out has checked out. So that's pretty compelling, I feel.
Yeah, that is compelling.
You can only go on the evidence you have. You can't assume that everything you know is wrong just because you don't know everything.
Like all the LIGO waves and everything.
Oh no, that's not what I assume. I just assume that I am not 100% correct. Because you can't be.
Well, one day I'll prove heat death to you, okay? And then we'll both be laughing at that.
Okay. You could both just crawl into an oven and turn it on. That would be weird.
Oh,
maybe you should do it first to show me how it's done.
what I was saying before, assuming the heat death is 10 to the 60th years away, which again I'm making that up, it might be less, it might be more, it might be a lot more. The universe is only what 10 to the
maybe tomorrow. Oh god,
13 trillion, yeah,
13.7 something
billion
years old. Earth years, that is.
Yeah. By the way, it's against medical ethics to date your patients, even if.
So, how many billions of years do we have left before we need to like solve the old global warming or whatever?
Billions of years, 0.
Yeah.
Earth has about 5 billion left itself.
I'm pretty sure
we got ages.
To solve the climate crisis, we have negative 0.000 something billion years.
Do not date your patient.
Too late then. Let's just keep going doing what we're doing.
Especially if you're the one.
That's not what that means, Argos.
Especially if you're the one who gave her not a brain transplant, but whatever Frankenstein experiment you did. If you gave her life, don't fall in love with her.
You know how we solve the climate crisis? We leave and create a climate crisis on another planet.
Let's go to Venus. It already has a climate crisis.
Yeah. We use our knowledge of creating climate crisis to create climate on other planets. Easy.
Okay.
There's plenty of planets around that if we just set off a few nukes on them and then wait for a while, then they'll have good atmospheres.
I don't even think Mars has a molten core anymore, so good luck.
I'm pretty sure our planet does have a molten core.
Okay, so I looked it up. The evaporation of the last matter should be in over 10 to the 100 years. 10 to the 100, 10 to the 106, 10 to the 110. It's a big margin of error, but, forever.
Evaporation of
Google Play.
Yeah, all matter decays, no matter how small.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the horrifying bit about heat death. There's not even going to be atoms anymore.
I'm Cyrus Redblock, huh?
Yeah, that feels very unethical. I don't think you can do that, Julian.
No.
If you build a time machine, let us know if the universe is a wraparound deal. So, when the heat death happens, does it start again? So let me know.
There's one thing that I like to think about. Eventually, in significantly less than 10 to the 106 years, I'm gonna die. But hypothetically, over a long enough timescale, if you have infinite time, the universe could technically just quantum tunnel and just create this exact state again.
Yeah.
With all the same matter and all the same energy in the same place.
Hypothetically, sure.
Hypothetically.
So you're going to get life number 2 after...
It would just take 10 to the 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 10.
If you had that much time, we could say yes, maybe.
He just made an actual interesting point there where he says, who wants to be normal?
Wait, look at that directory on the left. On the top is English, the middle is Klingon, and on the bottom is Bajoran.
I think most people want to be normal is the answer to that question.
It's a Star Trek fan Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically, hypothetically, we might just be resurrected.
No, it's true because I remember talking to my chemistry teacher, and I was lucky enough to have good public school teachers. And he asked me if you had an infinite amount of monkeys on an infinite amount of typewriters, would one of them eventually come up with Shakespeare? And I said no, and he said, no, you didn't understand the question.
Infinite.
The answer is yes.
Over a literally infinite amount of time, all probabilities will happen.
Yeah.
But there's also a prerequisite to that experiment.
Kind of meaningless, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's also a prerequisite to that experiment in that the Shakespeare text has to already exist. Otherwise, you have nothing to compare the monkeys output to say that it's Shakespeare.
Okay. To be or not to be. That's
technicality, Bill.
The question of it's not a technicality; it's fundamental to the experiment.
It wouldn't be created by Shakespeare, but it's still the same text. I don't think it matters if Shakespeare exists.
Well, the point is how much of origins, if any, can science explain? That's the fundamental question.
Someone would
have. No, the question's about monkeys.
Yeah.
And how good are monkeys at typing? That's the point of the question.
If somebody starts a bar fight, that is a good time to leave.
Come on, it's more fun to watch than baseball.
Yeah, you step outside the bar and watch them and just have a look.
I was going to say, what's the name of the guy with the mustache?
Jack.
Jack. Okay. So he had a moment there where he got fed up and he said, "Oh, who wants to be normal anyway?" But there's an actual, human life lesson truth in that.
Yeah.
My one of my personal mottos is normal is boring. You don't want to be normal.
I mean, there's no such thing as normal.
To be normal is to fit in, and most people want to fit in, and that's just a fact.
Just be yourself. If it's normal, or if it's weird, it doesn't matter. Just be you.
Love yourself.
We're lucky enough to live in a society where not being average and normal is generally acceptable. So be whatever.
Typing something that's over here.
And even society might call you something XYZ, but it's like, you know what? Just be you.
You add value to a group of people if you are slightly different but can still integrate effectively with them.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, we had a Disney Channel. Robin Williams narrated a short 5-minute clip. Great minds think alike, and then he crossed it out and said, "Great minds think different." So
what?
You got to think different.
Is Chief O'Brien the only voice of reason here? You're going too fast.
He's the common
this
man.
Is unethical. She's your patient. You can't.
You're personally too involved in your professional experiment here.
She's been on the station for 2 days, and you're inviting her to go to Risa with you for a week.
Yeah. And also, you've never let her date anyone else. As soon as she was born, you assume that she's yours. It's like that film with Chris Pratt, when they're the only ones on the spaceship and he wakes her up just for her.
Oh, Passengers.
Yeah.
Well, but
you see, all these considerations we're making are normal. He's going at mutant speed.
Is this music romantic? Well, this doesn't feel romantic.
No.
The thing, Passengers, I think, is a very good movie, even though it's a little disturbing, but not maybe for the reason that you think. Just a sense of isolation is what makes it disturbing for me. So Chris Pratt, he plays a character named Jim, and he falls in love with this girl who's in hibernation because he was mistakenly woken up by a computer bug partway through the trip.
Sorry. Behind Julian's shoulder, there was an Indian archaeology painting. Go on, Bill.
Oh, neat.
So anyway, so he falls and he's, becoming incredibly lonely, and he's going to die alone on the ship just from old age in a few decades. Because it's not a generation ship, it's a sleeper ship. And so he meets Jennifer, what's her name? Lawrence? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, meets her. And he finds her as a passenger in the listing. And so he starts watching interviews with her because from news,
he's
past
just
news.
choosing a girlfriend from the available cryotubes.
Yeah, well, they never say he was right in waking her up and dooming her to the same fate that he gets, which is living alone and then dying of old age.
Yeah.
They never
GF.
They never
he makes the decision for her.
They never affirm it, they never defend it, but they never condemn it either. Except for one line that Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne makes, who, when he says a drowning man is going to pull down anybody who tries to save him because he's drowning.
Right.
And so there's a certain
How long was he alone on the ship before he decided to do this? Was it like the next day, or did it take a few years for him to go crazy?
It took a few years. Yeah. I think 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, Bill, he researched like all the passengers, and then like he researched her more by watching her vlogs, which is
and he tried everything he could to wake up the actual ship of the crew of the ship to fix it, and he couldn't get in there. He couldn't break in. And so
he wakes her up. She likes him, and then she finds out he deceived her.
Oh yeah, she has a major crisis when she finds out that's what he did. Justifiably, for sure. She has that. I mean, her crisis is justifiable.
She's mad at him.
And the happy ending, though, is that they were right for each other. Thank God. So
Julian,
they do get that happy ending.
Julian revealed something that I think is very concerning for him. The reason he wants these people to fix Serena is because he doesn't want to lose her. Not because he wants her to get better, specifically, whether it's him or not. Right. He wants
the whole time he's been talking about what's best for Serena, like why is she staying on the station. But at this point, he confesses that it's what he wants.
I know this is a little bit to the side, but I can't tell if those plates are filled up with liquid, like just a little bit, or if they're just really reflective.
Black. Yeah. They're like painted black.
Where are you going? Can't you just call him? Why are you breaking out? Also, if these people are able to sneak through places, if you're trying to keep them in there, why does that pad even work?
Right.
Why is it connected to anything?
Right. And if they were confirmed traitors before, they need to be in like a maximum security holding cell because they are a national security threat. Yeah.
The actor who plays Jack, I finally remembered who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Orlando Bloom.
Kinda.
With the facial hair, I guess, a little.
No, it's more like the skin tone and the space between his nose and his lip.
You, Julian. You're pushing her too hard.
We thought she went mute again, and it turns out she didn't go mute. She was just acting cataleptic, which is... This episode crosses the line for me at this point, because you wouldn't say somebody went back to acting with the brain limitation. Come on, stop.
That's what Serena did. That's exactly what she did.
Stop. This is not an act, okay? People don't put on acts like this. Yeah, Julian. No, so far you've been striking out with every girl, okay? It's just a matter of time until this one said. Yeah, right.
Speaking of Jack, a different Jack, on a completely unrelated note. This has nothing to do with Star Trek. I rewatched The Hunt for Red October recently, and the main character there, Jack Ryan. He's definitely a self-insert of the author trying to make himself sound cool. He doesn't act like a real person.
Yeah. I owe you everything? I don't think that's... What's going on?
That's
Julian? Julian, you're not dating anymore.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
the
think
big.
he's right for you, Julian.
That's the big let go that Julian has to realize that she doesn't owe him anything.
That was your big shit, man. Just leave that alone.
Also, yes, Jack Ryan from Hunt for Red October is, in fact, married to Beverly Crusher. Which is...
Oh.
She's only on screen for like 30 seconds, but she's there.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. And that was like 84, so she was... Wait, when was the Hunt for... 93?
And everyone fawning over how smart Jack Ryan is. And he's standing up to the top brass at the government. And he's calling out the helicopter owners. It's like, oh, if we have fuel, we're staying here 10 more minutes. You'll do what I say. It's like, come on, man. They're just trying to do their jobs. Why do you gotta yell at them?
I put a link to YouTube video of Great Minds Think for Themselves.
Thank you, Bill.
At least Sean Connery called out Jack Ryan on his book being stupid. Whatever his analysis of the Battle of Midway or something. And Sean Connery was like, no, he acted stupidly.
You mean real life? Sean Connery called out the author of the book, Michael Crichton.
Captain Ramius.
Oh.
Also known as Sean Connery, because it's just Sean Connery.
You mean in the game, in the world, in the story world?
Yes. I have no idea what Sean Connery's doing in real life or how he feels about the book.
Well, he passed away a year ago.
Well, he's not doing much of anything then.
The late.
Yes, the late Sir Sean Connery.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. How did I not hear that Sean Connery had died?
I think we even had it on the forum from the server.
It might have been eclipsed by the pandemic. I would certainly not be surprised to that.
What did Sean die of?
Being an old guy, probably.
Yeah. Man, he was the original James Bond.
Apparently he was voted sexiest man of the century in 1999.
I mean, if you're the original James Bond, you are.
At 90 years old, and the cause of death was not disclosed, at least not immediately. Dementia in his final years, pneumonia, and heart failure.
Is that... Aw, she goes away on a little runabout craft.
Hang on, I need to double check the ships at the end there. I wasn't looking. Let's see if there's any triangles.
No, there was no triangle.
No triangles, no. There's an Excelsior, the Defiant, and a Jaeger. So, in October 2020, he died of pneumonia and heart failure.
On Halloween Day, actually.
Pneumonia, you say, in 2020.
It was a red October.
Well, pneumonia is not a disease. Pneumonia is a condition where your lungs fill with fluid, and it can be caused by various things.
What do we know in 2020 that was happening in late 2020 that causes pneumonia?
Cytoclean.
No, I can't think of anything. What do you think?
Cytoclean storms? There was like a rash of cytoclean storms.
Cytokine.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Anyway, that's it for today. I got things to do. I only have like 7 hours left. I got to finish the game. I have to make the whole thing. The programming stuff. I need to do the level design. It's not even close.
Making the rest of the game so that we can backseat you.
No, that's gonna slow me down so much.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Bye, Arios.
We're done here.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, Bill.
better shows that game when it's done.